about some of our natural stone comparisons. Next slide.
No handouts today?
Click the,
International Chocolate Day.
International what?
Chocolate Day.
Oh, there we go.
okay,
Okay.
you skip this
Focus.
slide. Okay, so our objectives today are going to be to provide a better understanding of the origin and manufacturing of natural stone, provide the key differentials between the primary stone types offered, and overview the benefits and values of the various stone types. Next slide. So one thing that's common with the different types of stones we're going to go over today is they all are quarried from different parts of the world. And one of the questions that will come up a lot when you start selling natural stone is, do you own a factory? Do you own a quarry overseas? And the right answer to that question is, we work with over 25 different factories internationally that have quarries that specialize in a particular type of stone. What's important to understand is, even if you own a factory or a quarry, you only own 1, 2, or maybe even 3 types of stone. Where are they getting the rest of their stone? They're buying blocks, they're shipping them across countries, and they're manufacturing them. So though it seems very powerful to say, oh, I own a quarry, I own a factory, there actually isn't as much power in that information, in that statement as appears. It actually is much better to work with the people that specialize in each particular type of stone. Next slide. So basically, just to show you how it works, they cut these blocks out of these quarries, they bring them over to the factory, they cut them into these slabs of different thicknesses and sizes based on what their finished good is meant to be. Then they have their slabs waiting there to be produced into their pavers, tile, veneer, whatever they're going to do. So that's just to give you more of a visual understanding of what the process looks like. Next slide. So what the first stone we're going to talk about is travertine. So when somebody asks you, what is travertine? They're usually not looking for what I call the technical answer, which is under these chemical characteristics here. If you tell them it's a sedimentary stone, that really doesn't mean much to many people. What really matters is its physical characteristics. It's pitted and it's porous, and it has a lot of color variation in the stone. So if somebody's looking for a very consistent look, travertine wouldn't be the option for them. These are some of the physical samples, which I know the people online can't see, but you can kind of see this is the color gold. And you can see the spectrum of color variation just here in these 3 pieces. So if somebody's looking for everything to look like this, that's not going to happen. Okay, so we're selling, when we sell gold, we're selling this variation, this variety of stone. And that's important to make sure we emphasize that to our clients, that you can't just pick one out of the 3 and expect to get that for your entire deck. Some of the common colors in travertine are gold, Oxford, also called ivory, natural, walnut, also called noche, silver, and scabos. And in the bottom here, actually, these pictures are really great representations of the color variation also. Like this is a gold deck here to your left, and that's a walnut deck there to your right. But you can see there's just a very dramatic mixture in those pictures. The product is safe, it's non-skid. We have all of the coefficient of friction testing done. That's all on our website. So if anybody asks you that, you can always refer back to those test results. That's supposed to be cool, but cool because it was too cool for the sea, so we got rid of it. And the color never fades. So you put this product down today, in 20 years, pressure clean it. It's probably a little bit dirty, but the color is going to look exactly the same. Low maintenance, super easy to clean. 1 part bleach, 10 parts water, gets out almost any stain if you obviously get to it somewhat soon.
Sorry, 1 part bleach, 10
parts water, yep. Because a lot of people will ask you, oh, well, we have parties and we drink red wine, and oh, the kids have hot dogs and their hot dog falls on the floor and there's ketchup on it, is that going to come off? And you say, obviously as long as you're not waiting 3 weeks and letting the sun bake it in all the way, 1 part bleach, 10 parts water should be perfectly fine. But that wine question will come up like almost every single time. So it's good to know. And all of the travertine options have a matching coating to go along with them. Any questions on travertine? So most important things to remember: pitted, porous, significant color variation. Next slide. Okay, so describe this deck. are what are most important when talking about stone. So when we look at this deck, what are some of the words that come to mind? Some of the adjectives that come to mind for this deck? Yep, everybody should be awake today, online too. Yes, everybody join in. What are some of the adjectives for this deck?
Well, a lot of variation.
Variation, okay.
Colorful.
Colorful, okay. Yana,
Same, the color variation.
And rustic?
rustic, okay,
Random pattern.
right. Old world. Tropical maybe,
Natural looking.
right. So when our customers call in and they're looking for something, you ask them, oh, what look are you trying to achieve? Because again, the power is so much in the questions that we ask our customers. We want to be able to guide them in the right direction. Okay, next slide, please. And then here are some of the travertine color selections. Gold Oxford, the Rosso is like a red color travertine. The Scabo, silver, Tundra has grays and golds in it. Valencia, walnut. And our goal on our new website and in our new marketing materials is to have all of these colors represented and present, even if some of them are special order, because if they're special order to us, they're probably special order to everybody else, so you want to make them available to your customers as an option. Some people are willing to wait.
I heard a customer asked me country, something country.
Right, well, this is something important to keep in mind. Everybody makes up different names for their products, okay? So the best thing you can do when your customer asks you for something that doesn't make any sense to you is ask for a picture.
Well, she showed me that she brought me and she said it's very popular. It's country something was the name.
Country blend, maybe?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So what a lot of factories do is, let's say they're cutting out these blocks, right? And it's supposed to be an ivory quarry or a noche quarry, but they're cutting the blocks and the colors are coming in like 4 different colors. It's looking gold, it's looking ivory, so they make up something new and they call it a blend, is essentially what happens. So if you get that and the customer sends you a picture, you can always forward it over to us. We can take a look at it and then we'll be able to let you know where to go from there. The Valencia color is actually getting very popular, and we're working on bringing some of that in as well. Next slide, please. So the marble characteristics. As you can see, the marble is a different kind of rock than the travertine was. It's a metamorphic rock. So when you hear people say marble travertine or travertine marble, that's an inaccurate statement. Marble is marble, travertine is travertine. It's made 2 different ways on the earth. The important part is the physical characteristics. It's dense, with less pores, and less color variation per piece. So you can see here, this is a pearl product. So somebody wants something more consistent and they get this and they're scared away. That doesn't mean that there's not an option in natural stone available to them. They just need to pick a different type of natural stone. So this enables a little bit more of a consistent look, more modern, elegant, I guess you'd say. And in those colors, we have Pearl, Tahoe, Portofino, Ice, and Rose. It's also safe, non-skid. And you'll notice when you look at the technical specifications on our website, a lot of the marbles, when they get wet, their slip coefficient actually goes up, which is interesting. Because a lot of people will feel this or hear the name marble and automatically assume slippery. So it's nice to always refer back to those tests. Cool, stays cool to the touch. Color never fades, very low maintenance, matching coping. So very similar to travertine in regards to its benefits. Next slide. Okay, so here we go. We have a pearl deck here. Now we see the big major difference between this deck and that last gold deck that we looked at. So what are some of the things that come to mind when we look at this deck?
Color is more consistent.
Is that a vanishing edge?
Yeah.
Rich looking, sleek.
Right.
It's modern. A little more.
Modern, elegant. It's a very different look, both natural stones, both offering something completely different.
Does look slippery.
It does look slippery, huh? They probably
Like
sealed,
shine.
my guess is, it does look like there's a sheen on it. They probably sealed it with a topical sealer and mixed in something called Sharp Grip or Gator Grip. It's something that gives it a little bit more, it's something that gives a little bit more of an abrasion. So if somebody's like really concerned about, oh, I love the pearl, but I feel like it's gonna be slippery, that's a really inexpensive option that enables them to use the product and not
You're
have to
saying
worry
pearl
about it.
just for the color. If they say, I love the marble, same difference.
Right, but if they love pearl, they probably love pearl because they want this color type. All the marble colors, if you click to the next slide, please. They're very different. Okay, so every color is gonna give you a very unique, different look to it. The pearl is the most, what people call elegant, or ice is more like modern, contemporary looking. And then we also have these newer colors, the Monterey and the Pacifica. They're all very unique. So if somebody likes pearl, it's kind of hard to steer them to another option. But they're all going to get the same, they all provide the same type of modern chic look. Next slide, please. Okay, Coral Stone. Coral Stone is an interesting product because coral is something that you're not supposed to cut, touch, break in the ocean. So that's going to get you a lot of questions. Like as soon as you say, oh, I have a coral stone, that's going to come up a lot. So it's kind of important to understand that this isn't the coral that's found in the ocean. This is coral that's over time dried out, it's above land now, and they're coring it just like they do in any other natural stone type. And you're going to get that question a lot more than you think, so it's important to know that answer. It's very pitted and porous. Okay, as you can see here, I mean, it looks like a sponge. Okay, so people don't like that, they're afraid food's gonna get in there, stuff like that, then this probably isn't the option for them. But it's also very consistent in color. There's fossilization in there. One of the main benefits to the Coral Stone product is this is a saw cut product. It's not tumbled like the other products have to be to get rid of the saw marks. So they can make this in as large of a piece as they'd like. So if they want to go with a 36 by 36 piece, you can make that out of this product. You can go bigger. You can do countertops. You can do anything with this. In the same finish, you have your deck. So that's a nice benefit to it. There aren't color variation. There are color options to it, I should say. It's just Coral Stone. Coral Stone is Coral Stone. So you see here it's safe, it's non-skid, it's cool, color never fades. And then when we get to the low maintenance part, we put somewhat instead of yes, because this product, since it's so porous and soft, it tends to get, I guess, like an algae forming across the top of it. So it requires like pressure washing, hosing it off, sweeping it off, maybe twice a month. So it's a little bit more maintenance. It's going on a lot of the larger homes in West Palm Beach because they just love the look. It's just that tropical South Florida look. Next slide, please. And this is one of the newer projects that we've completed. How would we describe this deck?
Gorgeous.
Right, it's just phenomenal,
Yeah.
right? And it's just also another look.
Almost looks
It's
like
amazing how different everything provides. Say that again?
Almost looks like my house.
Almost, yeah.
Not as elegant.
But this is almost like what I call tropical elegance, right? It makes you feel like you're like on a resort somewhere. The material is just really soft and really cool, so I guess people just feel like the little bit of maintenance that they need to perform to it is worth it. It's offset because of the other benefits. Next slide. Okay, so granite characteristics. This is another type of rock. This is an igneous rock. So now we've went over 4 different types. We've had the travertine, the marble, and the granite. All 3 are different. This is dense with less pores. The color is very consistent. And when I say that, this product I really wanted to have 2 pieces of, but we don't. Within the stone, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of different colors and shading going on. But once you get a couple of pieces next to each other, they're all looking very similar. So it gives a very consistent look. It's refined, and the common colors with that are Malibu, Savannah, Amber, and Platinum. And this is also safe, non-skid. It is not a cool product. Okay, it's hot.
There, you see that thing in the corner? Top corner.
I see it.
Color never fades, low maintenance, matching coping, yes.
Keep on rolling.
Next slide.
No, what I'm saying is they can, if they lost connection, they can catch up on the video.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so describe this deck. There's no deck,
There's no,
right? Why is there no pool deck?
Too
Because
hot.
it's too hot.
Because it's hot, right? So we want to tell people, this is too hot for a pool deck, honestly. If you love it and you want it, for whatever reason, I have it, we can offer it to you, but it's not something that we recommend. You're not going to enjoy your pool. You're not going to enjoy your coping. It is really hot, okay? Next slide, please. And then these are some of your granite selections. Amber, Malibu, Sea Blue, Platinum, and like I said, these are readily available. If you're selling pool decks, if people are doing a pool deck, they're probably doing their driveway to it at some point. And I think that this is a great way for you guys to kind of push your business and sell in more than one area of the home by letting people know this is also available.
So
Next
what
slide.
percentage are just driveways?
Of this. Okay, so for international, I think that this is such a great option, or even for Florida. Golf courses, this is great for like the roadways around the golf courses, because the color on this never fades. It has this flamed finish on it, so it's super safe, like, so when the guys are drinking out on the golf course, they're not gonna slip and fall on this. It's also great, like driveways, it's also good for patios that don't have pools. So what would you say percentage-wise?
well,
85%, I'd probably say, is for a driveway, but also great for walkways and entries and things like that.
So commercial properties, hotels, motels.
right.
Or
You
residential.
can use it for wall caps. It can also be in a multitude of sizes, so that piece can be done in, 4-foot long piece, if you wanna do like a wall cap, things like that, so. Has some
It just can't
flexibility.
be tumbled, it would
Right.
just be flamed.
What's the comparison to like, say like your standard blacktop driveway, like as far as being hot, is it something that's
It's
even
similar
hotter?
to that. No, it's similar to that,
Okay.
yeah,
Right,
But
so most
the
people should be
comparable
wearing their
is-
shoes on their driveway most of the time,
right.
right? And this is getting really popular for commercial driveways and entries in South Beach. A lot of people are buying this sea blue and the platinum colored granites are getting really popular in South Beach.
What size do you see that most often?
And for driveways that are for residential driveways, it's being used in the like 6x12. We even have another one that's a multitude of small pieces that make a small pattern up, like 6x6, 6x12, 12x12, 12x18. You get like a mini ashlar pattern.
A lot of people are calling and asking for 6x6 squares too now. For some reason, that look, that cobbly look is getting very popular.
I've seen 4x4 squares, it almost
Right.
looks crowded in.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can do that as well. Some of them will do that. Yeah.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so let's review. If a client is looking for a rustic, old world look, which product would you steer them towards?
Travertine.
You're supposed to raise your If a client wants a travertine deck but wants to only get a specific shade of the stone, is this possible and why?
No, it has different.
Raise your hand, raise your hand.
Why is it not possible then?
That's different color variation.
Right, that's the way it's mined, okay? And I think that the best way to put it, and I was just explaining this to a client yesterday, when you go to the store to buy a diamond, if you want to buy a flawless diamond, it costs a lot more money, right? So if you want to get a flawless stone with no color variation and no pores and no issues, that's going to also cost a lot more money. You're not going to pay $4 a foot for that stone. You need to pay $30, $40 a foot for that stone. Okay, because it's a process. You have manual labor occurring in these other countries. It's picking through to get you everything this color. Okay. What product is not recommended to be used on a pool deck at all and why?
Granted, it's too hot.
Good. And if a client is looking for an elegant, more modern look, which stone would you steer them towards? We have a room of overachievers here. What happened to this side of the room?
Pearl.
What is different about coral stone from the other stone types?
A lot more maintenance.
High maintenance, too porous,
What's one of the benefits to it though?
consistent look.
Yes, and you can do more with it. You can make bigger pieces and you can keep the same finish. So that's pretty much it, unless anybody has any questions.
Do you have money for answering those questions, right?
We want money. You're gonna make a lot more money, because now that you know the answers to those questions, you're gonna sell.
Oh, so you're saying we're getting paid commission on this?
Oh, good.
All right.
That's up to Darren.
And we're cutting.